Hello, we're making a fishing reel, and this is being an ongoing project. Anyway, we've got the foot of the reel here, that sits on your rod handle. I've screwed the reel support, which is a separate piece, onto the foot, and now I need to put the second reel support in place. Now this piece wants to rotate. There's only one screw bolt fixing it on, so what I'm going to do is drill. This is in the correct orientation now. I'm going to drill through from the back side halfway through and secure it so it doesn't rotate using a tapered clock pin. And to do that, I'll be using a small tapered reamer. The difficulty is holding the work and stopping it, holding both pieces, stopping it spinning. When that's on, then I can mount the second piece, and when I've mounted the second piece, there'll be a tapered pin that goes through the two. But I can't do that until I've mounted this one. The reel itself, we've been working on it, making it up. It's light as a feather. So that's one side of the reel. There's the bobbin, that we've made up. The reel is going to sit in the hoops, so a hoop on each side, and be held with a little aluminium faceplate, and these faceplates will be screwed into place, and you'll have a true centerless reel. That'll drop into there. We're going to anodize the aluminium parts and nickel plate all the screws, but this is a bronze, so I'll just leave this bronze bare. I'll just clean it up and let it tarnish with time. So yeah, fishing reel going on. I'm going to print some labels for these reamers. I'm trying to avoid starting. So there we go. There's a Brother label printer. Very impressive. You've got all sorts of clever things you can do with it. So I'm just going to take that green cartridge out, and having bought non-Brother labels compatible, my view is buy the Brother ones because they're just better. I'll print a label up. There's the back side of your printer. 2 lugs. Click it in. 1 copy. That'll do. And what I find, this isn't proper Brother stuff. I've cleaned that off with alcohol. That'll probably peel off. Alright, but there we go. Right, well, I'm still trying to avoid this, aren't I? So getting back to the job in hand, I reckon I can put a hole from the back side about here in line with that hole there, and not come all the way through, and then just pin it in. And probably these are steel clock pins, nice labelling. Probably not use the larger size of pin, probably use a pin about that size. These are traditional clock pins, so they're bound to be imperial. So on the 16th tapered reamer, tip's almost a millimetre. Tip of that's just over a millimetre. Now I'll go for that and I'll drill a millimetre size hole. Alright, so there's a little hole in here, and if I just, oh, it worked. Tap out your drill. So that little boy should poke a hole from the underside, and I can go in quite a way. Right, so I'm going to work out my clamping scheme, and I think I'll sit it on a block. This one's from Machine Mart, so I can mount that snug like so. Alright, clamp that face in, and then put a couple of parallels across there. And hold that from, what I don't want to do is start drilling that and it spins. And hold that from spinning. One clamp mounted at that end, and on two parallels just to clear this foot area. Then one on that end, clamp that face down. I'll be winning. Then move it onto the mill. That's my plan. Okay, so I'll use a clamp down kit going through this hole, but the inside of this is a bit rough and nasty, so we're just going to sand it out. Bear with. Alright, so that's giving us a smoother finish, and in case you don't know, there's my sandpaper all clogged up. If you just take scrunched up bin bags, you can clean sandpaper, but this is some sort of rubber cleaning thing anyway. So there you go, clean your paper up, good to go again. That'll do. So flatter than we were. I'll clean that paper off before I go. Good as new. Oh, this came from a brilliant bloke, lovely old bloke. It's got a little bit of a shock absorber in it, a little bit of a flexible. It's actually a tight spring type area. but because it's flexible, it just keeps it flat on the work and works very nice. Yeah, well, there we go on the mill, and we can't quite get in far enough. There's not a deep enough throat on this, so right, I'll flip that block 90 degrees, and if I use a smaller clamp that doesn't hang off the end of the table at this end, then I should be able to make it. Okay, so we've set that up, and that is dropping off and sort of going minus, so this side needs to come to me. So I'll see if we can pump it. So we'll fiddle with this until we get that running true. Yep, there you go. That is a really nice fitting pin. So we'll now line up the chuck. All right, so we've got our pin in place, and we're just going to line it up. Need to set the stops. There's a stop down underneath here, which is a modification, and then there's one along here, which is the standard. Alright, so here we are underneath the mill, and we've got a track that's been added to the side of the casting. It's very handy having this, but you've just got to remember which way your stops go. That little fork's pretty solid, this is pretty solid, and you know, these studs have been brazed together. Alright, so we'll lift that out. So now I'm going to go this way. Yeah, got you. Then I'm going to take this little screw out. Right, so I've got that screw out and immediately lost it. The magnetic tip on this is an absolute nuisance, apart from the occasional time where it saves my bacon. Okay, so that's good. So if I drop out of there, and back to there, hit my stop, that's where I want my hole. Let's have a look. Let's eyeball it. It's not bad. Okay, we're looking good, we're shaping up now. We're going to use a a 7/64 cutter in the FC3 holder. That'll give me space, it'll give me land, and when I go to fit the pin, I'll have a little hollow that I can nail the pin in through. And then right, screw the adapter in first and then put the cutter in. Otherwise you just get a pneumatic piston because it's too fine a fit. It just won't go. Okay, we've dropped the machine down. We're going to hit the loud button and see if we can mill this out. I'll take it off the drill press setting. And now we're using the micro movement. Okay, so that now gives me a spot for my drill to run from. Happy days. Okay, I'm working out how far I can take the drill. So I've got a couple of gauge blocks that just tell me, yeah, that's the extent that the drill can come down to. So I can set a stop. I reckon the tip of my reamer is about 1.5, so I'm going to try a 1.3 drill, see if I can start the reamer and then adjust from there. Alright, so we've got the chuck in, we've got the drill in. I'm going to drop down. I'm going to come along. That there is my maximum drilling depth. So I'm going to set a stop there. Unlock the quill. Drop it back up. Come along. Robert's your uncle. Bob's your relation. Okay, we're going to move the whole machine up and then just see if I can start. If I can't start the reamer, then I'll go up a size of drill. Just feeling that engagement in the hole. Looks like it's a goer, but that is skinny boy, so gently does it, peck a peck a peck. Right, we've been cleaning this out with the Dentist 3-in-1 jet and also cannula needle. We've taken the fine taper reamer to the limit and cut down a standard taper pin, which will go into a little socket. Now, that's not tight. I can still get it out with me fine nose tweezers, but when we come to the final fit, I'll cut that a little bit shorter. Just push that in. I've got enough that I can nip it out with the top. So I think I'm good to break this down. Yeah, now. Oh no, that's good and solid. If that had been on the waggle, I'd have just centered it back up, drilled the hole all the way through, but there's nothing there that's solid. Terrific. It has taken me all day to drill one hole, but that's now solid. So this pin that we've put through the base stops my top ring from spinning and rotating, so when I fit this piece, I can make accurate adjustments underneath and across here, offer it up and get this really aligned nicely. And there it is, sitting nice and true on this old rod seat. It's very slow progress because I'm trying to be accurate as I go, and it's so easy to make a slip. So we'll meet again. Right, we've got a little punch, and there's an arm which goes through the hole. There should be a small bolt that goes through, secures this so it goes up and down, and there's a spring return on it. So the little bolt's disappeared. I'll make one up. I'll make it out of this surgical grade stainless steel. So from a box of small bits, the thread at this end is M2.5. We'll see if we can find a gauge pin to fit that hole. That's the nearest I've got. It's just over 2.5 millimeters. Yep, we've done the hacker. So I've cut a long piece off so I can use the Bernard, the Pratt Bernard collet shut. It'll just hold it better. In gear. Alright, well, what the hell, eh? A bit of speed on. Set a stop. The old brake spanner. We're looking for 2.5 millimeters. Too much for it. Yeah, I'll go in 2 passes. Pass 1, pass 2, and measure it. Yeah, I'm taking that. Let's nail it. That's good. I'm going to use a die to cut this, so I'm just putting a lead on with the file. The diameter is slightly too big, so I'm just going to polish that up. Alright, so there's my M2.5 die. So I've got a tailstock die holder. So this time I'm going to spin the chuck with a little wrench. Yeah, this is a tiny thread, so it barely feels like it's doing anything. No hassle here. Oh, that didn't put up much resistance. Okay, smashing. So my part's screwing on quite nicely. What we're in, we'll come down this side first. I think I was just catching on those wing nuts. Right, so that's Sweet Jean Vincent. That will hammer over. So I'm going to slice it off here because I need to unscrew it, put the tool back together. And rather than putting a screw head into it, which the original had, I'm just going to pomp it over. Okay, so we're off. I will unscrew this. I'm not putting a screw head in, but while I've got it all in bits, I'll pop this in the grinder and we'll just grind the tip up. Alright, quick change of plan. Because of the boss at the back, I couldn't get it in the drill grinder. I couldn't put a collet in the drill grinder, so I put it in the lathe. And we're going to just touch it up. Actually, rather than setting a tool and setting the top slide over, I'm just going to do it with a file. So I'm going to file off the end nice and sharp. Yeah, we're looking good now. We're just taking the final oil stone. Yeah, that's certainly tidied up. So we're just pumping over the thread end. So it's relatively smooth, but we'll have it super smooth so you don't catch that with a glove. Alright, so I've peened that over. We'll cut this end off and then peen this as well. Just dome it over a bit. So I'm going to cut that off now. So I'm just going to keep working it. I don't have any snaps this size. Nice and smoothly groovy. So, nice new pin. Good to achieve something today. I've basically drilled one hole in my reel, but I'll fix this. Good. Shed guy out.